Hello again. I'm sorry. I know I was supposed to get a video out yesterday, Friday, after we met with the guy with the bus. Today's the Sabbath, Saturday, November 29th. It's Hanani's birthday. She's 9 years old. And again, I'm trying to figure out how to hold on to her and take videos with her too. But I wanted to jump on here and give an update. There's been a little bit of a delay. We did meet with the man with the bus yesterday, and the mechanic checked it out. It's fine. It's in really good condition, especially for how old it is. I mean, it's got some things like one of the steps needs a little reinforcement, and definitely needs a lot of cleaning. But other than that, and mechanically and structurally, it is a very sound vehicle. And the mechanic was even pretty impressed. We've got to hold on to things until Tuesday. We're going to finalize everything. And the other thing that's happening Tuesday is, I think, God ever put you in a position where you're forced to make a decision to do what's right instead of just letting the Lord take care of it for you? Well, that's pretty much what has been laid on me with Mia. She's not doing well. She's only getting worse. I mean, she has her moments. Like yesterday, I had her out in the yard playing with the two of the kids I was babysitting, and she was obviously very feeble. But because, she's just that happy-go-lucky pup, she was still, making an effort to play with them. And she just loves people. But yesterday morning and this morning, she was having a really hard time breathing. I think things are starting to shut down. She's already had signs of kidney failure here and there over the past couple months. And it's just, it is one of the closest things to hell watching her suffer. Oh, Bubby. Yeah. Let's see if I can turn this. Oh, she's turning her head. She does not like the camera. Hi, honey. That's our Mia. Get over here in a little bit. Yeah. But she can barely see. And one of the worst things is like when she has a seizure and comes out of it, or she's just got a pain, or just whatever's going on. But sometimes she'll just look at me and she can barely see, but she's looking at me and you could just tell she's terrified. And it's just not right to let her suffer like that. I mean, she's not in constant pain, but it's enough that it's senseless to force her to stay here with us. So Tuesday morning, I've scheduled it with the vet to have her put to rest. And frankly, it's the hardest decision I've ever had to make. And anybody that's listened to me babble on in any of my other videos, that might sound kind of crazy, considering that I watched my husband suffer until he died, and I lost my house, and just all the things that has been going on. But I just don't know why God just doesn't take her. He's merciful, but he's laid it on me to make this decision to do this. Anyway, so Tuesday I probably won't be doing any video. But we'll see how I feel, because Tuesday I'm also going to finish the transaction and get the bus. and I'd like you guys to see it, and when it's all new, at least new to me. It's not a new bus, but anyway, I've been trying all day off and on to come on here and say some uplifting things, and I can't say it's been a bad day. It's just, you ever have those days where it's just kind of, it's not bad, it's just kind of, you're wondering a lot about a lot, if that makes any sense. And even in the hard decisions, the things that seem impossible, you're grabbing a hold of grace to follow through in making the right decision and doing what's right, like with Mia here. And this is going to sound really awful, but anybody out there ever get tired of doing the hard things because it's right, and always end up suffering because of it? That's been my entire life. And I'm not saying that I'm, some goody two-shoes do-gooder or something like that. That just, to me, it just makes sense to do what is right when you know what is right to do. I don't know, it just makes sense to me, and I have a hard time doing things that don't make sense to me. And I think of Paul, in Jeremiah 29:11, everybody quotes that, and you get all excited that, God has great plans for you, not plans to harm you, but plans to give you a hope and a future. Well, our hope is Jesus Christ. That's what he gave us for our hope. And Paul, the great plans God had for Paul was that he would be in prison for most of his adult life. But we're still talking about him today. We're still learning from the work that he did. He was the first missionary, technically, because he's the first one to really, spur the traveling to, all over Asia and stuff like that. But he was imprisoned for a good part of his life. Most of the epistles were written from prison. And when I think about that, it's like, okay, then I'm here complaining. I'm not really complaining, just pointing out a fact. My entire life, like way back with the stuff that if you, read my book, or at least look at anything on my one blog, unkpi.net. There's some articles on there about some things that happened with my kids. And you can find my book there also, unkpi.net. And I'd appreciate it, anybody that, is interested to get my book and read it and give me some feedback. I don't know everything. And I would appreciate and encourage, some feedback and dialogue about that. And it just would help me grow. I think it's iron sharpens iron. That would be awesome. Because I really don't have anybody like that. But even way back with my kids, when I found out what had happened with them, I can't say instinctively, but I didn't have to give it a whole lot of thought. I just prayed about everything and moved how, I believed, God was moving me, and did what was right. We encourage children, or we're supposed to encourage children to tell on people who do bad things to them, or what they see them doing to others. And the thanks I got was devastating. And I don't do things to gain thanks or any kind of accolades or whatever. I do things because, all my treasure is in heaven. So Anyway, I'm just been thinking deeply about a lot. And like I said, it's not really a bad day, but it's hard for me to come on here and be, uplifting and all excited. I am excited. I think I'm still in shock about getting the bus. But do you ever look at your life and say, if this is all it is it enough? And I'm not even talking about, not having a home. My home is in heaven, like the title to this series. But I always had hopes and believed, like, gosh, the happy ending kind of stories. And I'm not talking about Disney or silly things in the movies, just I believe God promised me a long time ago that my family would be restored, particularly my kids and I. And, there's a few other things on there. And it wasn't because of those promises. It was because I just get excited to serve the Lord and doing in accordance with his revealed will. And that primarily is to spread his word and draw others to him. Or like in situations like this family that I'm working with. That's what we're supposed to do, right? Jump in and help out. I mean, this young mother was not taught anything on how to be an adult and be a mother. And she's got 3 children that are looking into her and depending on her and have no idea what it means to be a child, really. And so I think it was in Titus and a couple other places, Paul cautions the church that, the older ones are supposed to help the younger ones learn. And there's great blessing in that. And just to watch God work and being a part of it. I'm blessed to be a part of it. And I've never been a person to reach out and do things based on, okay, what's in it for me? Just never occurred to me. But today, I'm sitting here going, okay, I gotta make the seemingly impossible decision to put my dog to sleep. And it's the right thing to do, but after a lifetime of making the decisions and standing on what's right, and all things considered, look where I am. Oh, geez. I can say with certainty, and I know without a doubt in my mind or heart, I am exactly where God wants me. And I can say that I don't really mind not having a house. Like I said, the things like, Hanani not being able to run around in her own yard and off leash and chase a ball, that bothers me. Not having a place to, garden and play with my plants. Excuse me, that bothers me. I love, remodeling and redecorating and stuff like that. That doesn't really bother me so much, but I love doing stuff like that. But other than those couple things, the gardening and Hanani having room to run like that, I really am very excited about getting this bus. I've already arranged a place where I'm going to park it for a while until, God finds something else. And it's right up the road from the church, so that's handy. And not too far from a new friend of mine. But it's not my living conditions that's bothersome to me. I want to be a blessing. I don't want to be that person. And this is not a pride thing. This is I know what God can do, so come on, God, let's do it kind of thing. I don't want to be that person that everybody feels sorry for or is terrified just looking at me and in my life. I want people to see the awesome, wonderful things God's doing in my life. And it doesn't seem like it's getting through. And that's kind of where I've been today. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe people do see it. But it's bothersome to me. Because just like Paul accepted and ran with, used every part of everything that came against him. He used it to the glory of God by God's grace. I mean, I don't think I'm as skilled as Paul and gifted as Paul in doing all that. But it's the closest thing I can think of to describe what I'm trying to say, because otherwise it's really too hard to find words for it. I look at things a little bit different. But I also wanted to talk about, hopefully really quick, we're already at 17 minutes here, just bring awareness of the fact that, folks, there's a lot of people that for whatever reason, whatever circumstance in their life, and then some just purely by choice, they, get rid of everything and go live in their vehicle. Excuse me. There's a lot of people that have, renovated vans and stuff like that to, various forms of RVs. And, in fact, there was a guy that just did a video not too long ago on the growing population of people living like this, right here in Ohio. More. I think he did it more towards central Ohio. But I mean, a couple months ago, I saw somebody in a tent behind the dumpster over here at Taco Bell, and I don't know if it's sad or if it's just a new type of revolution or what. But it's definitely an interesting perspective, being out here. And I hope that as more time goes on, especially when I got room to spread out and get back to some real work, I can be more of a blessing in doing these videos and just go around and show you guys things that you might not see if you're not out here like this. But anyway, on that note, I want to say God bless you if you made it this far. I'm sorry that this was just such a really kind of strange video, but I just want to share, what's on my mind and heart with you guys, and in hopes to get you to engage with me a little bit and, share your stuff down below, especially, if you've been put in a similar position like I am with Mia right now, that, you had to make the hard decisions to do something because that's the right thing to do, as much as you really don't want to. And what a position. I don't want her to suffer, but I don't want to put her down. by God's grace, I will follow through because it's the right thing to do. But I don't want to. Anyway, God bless y'all. Have a beautiful rest of your day. And I hope you make it to church in the morning to fellowship and worship with your people. Thank you.